So a word to the wise here on these 18mm cannons. The bases, the distance between the points is such that the wheels have to be almost at the very, very end, sometimes somewhat inset. And yeah, when putting these on the base, I did apply way too much pressure here to the next to the last one. So I've got a crushed wheel that hopefully will be kind of hidden, but you know, it does look like it's been maybe damaged in the field, but I don't think you'll be able to tell from far away on the battlefield, but definitely up close. There are no spare parts, so when you are out of parts, you are out of parts, and that is that. Looking at this cavalry again, here's my Confederate infantry. That's definitely 18mm. So the cavalry I thought might be 25, but when I go to overlay the figures, you know, the head sizes look the same. I think, yeah, I'm pretty certain now that this is 18mm, so they got the order right. So just a quick update. I've been working on the World of Fun miniatures. They're 18mm plexiglass. I was pretty happy with how this turned out. Over here are the Confederate forces. Over here to the left are the Union, so I've got plenty of dismounted cavalry here. That's actually one entire unit of dismounted cavalry. I intended to use this with Strategos at a one figure to 40 men ratio. And then behind them you see that we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe that would be brigade size units. Don't quote me right now. Back here, the baggage train, 12 mules representing in Strategos 2 pieces of baggage per mule. Then behind here, kind of drying right now, are these skirmishers. Many skirmishers. I had to actually use some PVA, Elmer's glue, to get to stay in the bases. Whereas some things were very difficult to get in the bases, like these dismounted cavalry and the mules. Some other things were a little bit loosey-goosey, and that was mostly the skirmishers. So, and then we also have 2 entire squadrons, I guess you would call those. These are each company columns, right? 3 at 40, that's 120 men, so 120, 240, 360, 480, times 2 is 960, plus the command element. So, yeah, that's 1 unit of cavalry, that's another unit of cavalry. And then back here on the artillery, we've got 8 batteries per side. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Actually, it's 6 batteries per side. There's a brigadier general, perhaps. Maybe even the commander-in-chief would be a major general over a unit this large. 2 subordinate commanders and 2 trumpeters on the Union side. Some of these markers for artillery fire. On the Confederate side, there's a leader that I buried back here with a Confederate standard. And then there is actually the CNC. He has a drummer, and then there's also, I gave him a bodyguard / messenger / runner. Again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brigades, plus 2 units of cavalry. Skirmishers over here. Very few dismounted cavalry I created. Again, baggage train. I mixed in some more guards with their baggage train. And then lastly, I have also got these figures that I've mounted on these circular bases. Probably not what they were intended for. These bases are far too large. Are they in the camera view? Yeah. Circular bases. But what I wanted to do was play. I've had this war game called The Rules with No Name for quite some time now, and I've been intending. Isn't that a beautiful book? You can get it online for free, but man, it's beautiful. Anyway, I've been wanting to play this Western skirmish game for quite a while, and having only 1 cowboy figure painted up at this point, I had all but given up on playing that anytime soon. But now that I've got a couple spare figures, I think I will do that. I kept 4 bases free in case I wanted to take off this rear rank and then put it in the base and kind of extend the line in some extraordinary circumstances where you take them out of a line of battle and turn them into an extended line. Regular infantry, that is. And then lastly, the leftovers. So we've got a couple artillery pieces that are left over. We've got just a handful of skirmishers here left over for both the Union and the Confederates. These skirmishers, they're actually Confederate troops marching, but I've mixed them in to kind of make them skirmishers. Same thing for these guys that came with the mule units. I've turned them into both dismounted cavalry for some forces, as well as mixed them in with a baggage train and used them as skirmishers, just filling them in. They look like cowboys, so they can fit in pretty much anywhere an irregular force would be called for. That's it in a nutshell. I think I have enough now to play a pretty good game of Strategos. Looking forward to testing my advanced rules too. So I'm pretty happy with these guys. I'm going to use these guys for that Rules with No Name Wild West wargaming rule set. Skirmishers. I've redone. This is the only thing that I did is I broke one of the 16 wheels for my batteries here, and when I tried to reconstruct it, I made it even worse. So it's in the process of gluing the little itty-bitty pieces back together because there were no spares. Yeah, I've got some dismounted cavalry back there protecting the baggage train. All the Confederates are massed here, all their brigades. And then I've rebased these guys onto the circular bases. So now I've got a couple, I've got a standard, I've got the commander-in-chief, and then I've got another general with a drummer back there. Here are my Confederate batteries, which I had to fill in a couple. The guys with the swabs on the left, I had to use Union troops because I didn't have a Confederate artillery unit. And then here's the Union commander-in-chief, and then 2 of his subordinate generals with buglers, and then the Union batteries, along with the cannon shot. An entire, I think that's going to be, well, that's the skirmishers. Then we've got the 2 units of cavalry in columns of companies, and then all of their brigades of infantry. And then up front here is an entire additional unit of cavalry dismounted. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to use this army and see it on the battlefield.